Well, why did I leave the newspaper world? The newspaper world, it's like basketball. You need to have good legs for jumping. And I was getting a little older, and my legs weren't working quite as well. And so I decided that I would try to write a novel. It came out of, the first book, came out of a conversation that I had with my, well, soon-to-be wife at the time. We were sitting talking about stories that we had covered. And I was complaining, because that is what newspaper reporters do. They complain. And I said to her, "Oh, all these guys constantly call me on the telephone. And they say, I'm innocent. They never are. But they want their stories told." And she said, "Well, that's tough. But that's the way it is." And then I thought, wouldn't it be far more interesting if I got a call one day from someone who said, "I'm guilty, but they haven't caught me yet." And the next day, I sat down and I started writing. And I wrote the opening line to my first book. A jogger found the body by the 13th green. And the next thing I knew, I was in the midst of a novel. I was at the start of telling a story, and I realized that in telling the story, I was allowing it to take over my entire life. And in a very, very good way. The characters became as real to me on those first few pages as anyone I had ever met. And that, I had to follow them through to the end of that book. And I knew how it would end, and I knew what would happen. And so I did. And I did not think for a minute that I was turning myself into a novelist. What I thought was, well, I'm wasting a lot of time. I was very fortunate. It didn't turn out to be quite as much of a waste of time as I initially thought.
John se metió justamente